Freilich and Purim, everyone, we have the incredible opportunity today to begin a section in the Sefer Chovos Halivavos, and the section that we are beginning is Shaar Habitachon. Literally, again, the gateway to belief. And Bitachon could be translated in so many different ways. It could be belief. It could be a sense of security. Shaar Habitachon. So the Mechaber writes as follows: Amar Mechaber, Mipnei shekadam ma'amarenu b'chiyuv kabbalas avodas Elokim. So since we began this sefer, he's talking about Chovos Halivavos over here, with the concept of the obligation to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and acceptance upon oneself, accepting upon oneself the obligation to serve Hashem, to be an Oved Hashem, which is our ultimate goal in life, to serve the Ribono Shel Olam. Ra'isi lahavi achar of mashu tzarach yosem mikal daram la'oved Elokim yisbarach. I decided, says the Mechaber, explains the author, to focus on that which is most necessary in order for one to be an effective servant of Hashem. In other words, what is the one thing you need more than anything in order to be an effective servant of Hashem? V'hu habitachon alav b'chol devarav. And that is a bitachon, a sense of belief, a sense of security in HaKadosh Baruch Hu in all aspects. Ba'avor ma sheyesh bo min ha'ta'aliyos hagedolos b'inyan ha'torah b'inyan ha'olam. Ultimately, again, he explains that bitachon is necessary. Bitachon is necessary ultimately when it comes to my observance of Torah. And ultimately, again, it's necessary in what he calls inyan ha'olam. What does it mean, inyan ha'olam? Just becoming a happy, simchadik person. Bitachon is necessary for my religious identity. And bitachon ultimately, again, is necessary for my general life success and life happiness. So let's analyze this. And it's really incredible. He says, V'toalosa bo b'toraso. See, he explains ultimately again that the toeles, the benefit of having bitachon, ultimately again is, like we said before, in Torah, in the ability to become a complete Oved Hashem, and to become complete spiritually. He says, Mehen menuchas nafsho ubitchano alakav yisparach. So this is incredible. So now we're going to break this down a little bit. So here's what we know. My goal is to become an Oved Hashem. My goal is to become a servant of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How do I become a servant of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Well, the first step to that really is bitachon. Bitachon helps specifically in two ways: spiritual fulfillment, and the truth is, life fulfillment. He says, so again, let's read this part again. Mehen, menuchas nafsho. By the way, what a profound idea. Menuchas nafsho, inner tranquility. Ubitchono al kavis barach, kimo sha'eved chayiv liftoach al adonov. Now, what does this mean that bitachon gives me a sense of inner tranquility? And this is so profound. He says it's very simple. A servant is obligated to rely and to trust in his master. Now remember again, everyone has to place their trust in something. So if I'm not placing my trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that means I'm placing my trust in something else. And this in and of itself is such a profound idea, right? Or everyone relies on something, if you think about it. So a person relies on HaKadosh Baruch Hu, relying on Hashem. If I'm not relying on Hashem, then I'm relying on something else. A person might be relying on chas v'shalom, idolatry. A person might be relying on chance. But everyone puts their trust into something. But if someone chas v'shalom puts their trust and puts their faith in something other than HaKadosh Baruch Hu, Meisir alakim hashgacha me'alav, umaniach osu b'yad mishabata halav. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu kiviyachol says, listen, if you don't want to trust me, and you choose to put your trust in something else, that's fine. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, good, then go with that. Go with that, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu kind of leaves one in the purview of whatever that thing is. V'hi k'mishanemar kishtayim ra'os asa'ami. This is as the Navi says. The Navi Yirmiyahu says, Yirmiyahu tells Klal Yisrael, you've committed two wrongs. What are the two wrongs? Osi azu mekar mayim chaim lachzel boros nishbarim. Number one, Kadosh Baruch Hu says to Klal Yisrael, you've forsaken me, and you've gone to go ahead and dig wells, but those wells are empty and broken. A reference to finding spiritual fulfillment in other avenues in life. Furthermore, va'amar vayamiru es kvodam betavnis shor ochal esev. Furthermore, again, this is from David HaMelech and Tehillim. Literally, again, you've exchanged my honor, my kavod, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, for an image of a shaar, of an ox which eats grass. A reference ultimately again to the chita egel, to the sin of the golden calf. So the idea over here is that the Chovos Halivavos is trying to bring down is that when a person doesn't put their faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, when a person puts their faith in something else, they're doing two things. Number one, there's the abandonment of God. Number two, there's the act of placing your trust in something else. V'amra Kaso, the pasuk says, Baruch HaGever she'iftacha b'Hashem, v'haya Hashem iftacho. Right, the pasuk says literally again, Baruch HaGever, blessed is the person, ultimately again, who believes in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and the Ribono Shel Olam becomes his sense of security. V'amar Ashri HaGever asher sam Hashem iftacho, v'lo pana rahavim v'shatei kazav. Praiseworthy is the person who places his faith and his trust in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and he didn't turn to other things. V'amar Arur HaGever she'iftach ba'adam, v'sam bisbasar zura'o u'min Hashem yasra libo. Conversely, the Navi Yirmiyah says, cursed is the person who trusts, who puts all of his trust in other people, and ultimately, again, turns his heart away from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So essentially, what the Chovos Halivavos is really trying to convey to us is something amazing. So to kind of like bring this together again, that a person who goes, our goal, what's the goal? And it's always good to start with the goal. The goal is to become an Oved Hashem. The goal is to serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu. How does one become a servant of HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Bitachon. Bitachon means a placing of one's trust into HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The Chovos Halivavos explains that a person has to put their trust into something. So the shaila just is what you choose to put your trust into. Chas v'shalom, if a person chooses to put their trust into something else other than HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Rebbeinu Shalom says, fine, that's what you want to put your trust in. Okay, good luck with that. Good luck with that. And Kivyachal HaKadosh Baruch Hu removes his providence from such an individual. But the Chovos Halivavos introduces us to is that if a person puts their bitachon, puts their trust in the Ribono Shel Olam, there are two byproducts of that trust. Number one, a sense of spiritual completion, and number two, a sense of spiritual tranquility. How both of those pieces actualize, in Mi'at Hashem, we will see in future shiurim. We'll stop over here for today. Wishing everyone a freilich and Purim.